Okay, what I'd like to do is to show you how to wind this Kevlar cord. And again, we're going to do this on the Black Brant, but I want to go through it on this rocket just to give you some insight in terms of how to do it. If you take a cord that's this long, and this one I believe is 6 feet long, you just stuff it in. When it ejects, all you're going to get is a tangled mess. And I've done some experiments on this to say what's the best way to wind it. Just stuffing it in, you're guaranteed you're going to get a knotted mess out of it. One thing that's important is you want to get this nose cone and streamer far away from the rocket body. You want to get them far apart so they're falling in 2 different air streams. And that's a very important aspect of how all of this works. So you have to use these long cords, and this is really nice to have. Now, what I want to do is show you how to wind this. If you just stuff it in, you're going to get knots. That I've covered. Here's the way that you should not be doing it. Don't take it and just wind it up like this, because all you're doing is putting twists, and you see it's already twisting. This makes more and more twists, and all it does is twist it up to the point where once you twist it and put it in, it's going to tangle itself again. So all it does is create knots. So you can't just use a continuous wind like this. And you see it actually gets kind of twisted up already there. It's starting to twist the Kevlar line. Now the Kevlar line does twist, but again, you're putting twists in it which are going to untwist at some point, and usually untwist by making knots. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do this. And this is kind of interesting because I've never seen anybody teach this as well. I'm going to do what's called an over-under wind. If you take an electrical cable and you wind it forward, you get the same problem. And electricians have done this for a long time. But if you wind the cable forward, you're going to basically twist the wire, it's going to break, or you're going to break the connectors off the end. A lot of things can go wrong. So they do what's called an over-under wind, where you grab the end and you wind it forward, and you twist your hand backwards and you wind it again. So you rotate your hand back and forth each time you twist it, like this. That's how you do what's called over-under winding. So you actually put a forward twist in, and then you turn your hand and you put a reverse twist in. So by the time you get done, there's no twist in the cable. And then that lets it unroll very easily. Just like when you see these mountaineers and they throw the cable down off the cliff, and it's like a 200-foot rope, it unwinds without knotting. And that's what we want to have happen. Okay, so enough of fanfare on this. I'm going to show you how to do this. And this is, again, it's fairly easy to do, but it's not obvious. So basically we're going to start, you use your fingers like this, and we actually wind this in a figure-8 pattern. So I have the rocket over to the side here, and just bring the top of it down. I actually start over here, but it's going to be easier to show it if I do it here. I keep my fingers apart, because if you put them too close, it's going to be hard to get this off your fingers. I've had some times where I put it on so tight I just could not get it off my fingers, had to rewind it. So I got my fingers apart, and now I'm going to just wind this in a figure-8. I just keep winding back and forth in a figure-8. Notice that each time we go on here, it crosses the previous, and the crossing keeps it straight. So basically, we're creating a series of loops, but it's not looping back on itself. It's just basically laying in a pile as I wind this. Okay, so eventually now we come up to this point where we're ready to start packing it. So just take your fingers, squeeze them together. And you want to grab the top and the bottom of this. Now notice I got this figure-8. You want to take the figure-8, push in the middle, and push it down. Now you've got that tight little streamer package that I talked about before. I'm sorry, tight Kevlar package. You put this in, and this pushes right into the body tube. This is real easy, just like that, and you're done. Otherwise, trying to push a 6-foot cord is going to be kind of hard. And again, when this ejects, you can see it ejects, and it just keeps on unwinding. It doesn't even twist. It's not even pulling the swivel out. You see, look at this. Isn't that cool? There. Look at that. It didn't even pull the cord out until it got to the end. Okay, so that's the trick of what we're going to build. The real trick in doing all of this is hooking this cord down to the engine mount. There's a lot of videos on doing that, but they don't show hooking a swivel on here, and I think they should. The second part is really preparing this particular Kevlar cord, Kevlar felt, and then we add the cords. With this eyelet, that's real easy to do. Again, the felt is available on Amazon, and you just glue this eyelet down. Very, very easy to do. And then the real engineering work is going to come in the design of these streamers. For the 1-inch, the 2-inch, and the 4-inch streamers, I use different ways of connecting this because there are different sizes, different thickness, and there's different materials, and obviously with different body tube sizes. So we have to do something a little bit different on each of them to make sure we can squeeze them into the body tube. This particular streamer is actually 25 feet long. It doesn't look like it, but this is 25 feet. The material, as thin as it is incredibly strong. It's used for scaring away birds. Namely, you put it in your bushes and the sparkling scares the birds away. It also makes a crackling sound. That's actually really nice. So when the streamer's coming down, it's like I can hear it crackling and say, I know where the rocket is. And it winds very, very tight because of that. So this 25 foot, you see, it slides right in. It's really, really easy to fit this right into the body tube. And of course, we're going to have the Kevlar felt blanket around this. And that's it. So at this point, I'm going to take a break, wait for the black Brant rockets to come in. No, actually, I ordered one, plus I also ordered some lock rockets because I want to fly my altimeters. And when you get this, again, we're going to have to go through how we're going to attach this down here. But we also have to go through how we're going to prepare the body tube to make sure that this glues in properly. Again, these are steps that they should teach you in the instructions. It is in some of the videos, like I think that Thomas video, can't remember his first name, he actually did show that you have to prepare the body tube, but he used actually plastic cement. We're not going to use plastic cement. Instead, we're going to use CA glue. And then once we get this done, the next tricky part is going to be building up the streamer, making the attachment, because this has to have a really, really strong hold on here to make sure it just does not break off of the streamer. And there's also some fun things you can do with the streamer. I wind spoilers on these so that it will actually make the streamer shake back and forth. Sometimes I put streamers or swivels on these streamers like this. I put a swivel on here. Then I made the streamer spin around. It looks cool, but it doesn't work very well because the streamer, once it spins around, it basically ties itself into a knot, and then it really doesn't work. Okay, so that's it for today's tutorial, and I'm going to wait till the rockets come in, and then we can start building.